Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope you've all had a fantastic festive period, that you're all safe and well, happy and healthy, and with a bit of luck you got to spend some time with your family. We are back on the fields of Perthshire, and first of all, a huge thank you because I hit 5,000 subscribers before Christmas, about 2 days before, so I'm over the moon with that. Martin's already out, there he is over there with his dog Lexi. So he's been out for a couple of hours, so we'll find out in a minute what his best finds so far have been. Santa Claus has been, I hope he's been good for you all. Here's my gift, look, I've got a little, I don't know, what do you call these? A little bungee, a little lanyard. So I don't end up doing a fletch and losing my probe. And then look what I got. I didn't get an XP Deus 2. But I did get a wee XP finds bag. All I need now is to find some stuff to put in it. This field's produced a few hammered coins. We've had some silver milled from William II of Scotland or William III of England. We've had some medieval, post-medieval, so fingers crossed. I'm going to turn up a few nice finds. Oh, and of course we've got Lexi the Wonder Dog, our good luck charm. So let's see how we get on. I'm straight in with the first find. I'm near the edge of the field, so I didn't film it because it sounded to me like it was going to be aluminium or aluminum, but it is in fact a spoon handle. It's got a bit of decoration on it. It's a sort of rising sun at the top. Few bits and bobs going on down there, and on the other side again you can see a little bit of flower decoration and another rising sun on that side. Had there been a bit more of it left, probably would have had a maker's mark, and I'll pretty much bet my bottom dollar it would have been made in Sheffield. So I'd guess probably going to be 1900s or thereabouts. Marty made a start before me. Here's what or a few of his best finds so far. Got a little watch winder, top left, I think. And he's got 2 coins. He's got a halfpenny of Queen Victoria. It's her young head. And he's got a copper coin of Georgius II. You can see his head facing to the left. On the back side, it says halfpenny, 1862. And this one would have Britannia, would be a date at the bottom there where that line is, but it's too far gone. But this coin here, this George II, that's a nice find, because that puts us slap bang into the Jacobite Bonnie Prince Charlie era. So he was on the throne from 1726 until 1760, and his son, the Duke of Cumberland, known as the Butcher Cumberland, he led the government army at Culloden in 1746 against the Jacobites and Bonnie Prince Charlie, and defeated the Jacobites, and they were no more after that. They were never again a force to be reckoned with, largely because George II waged what you would now call genocide against the Highlands in the months that followed. And then after that came the Highland clearances. People were forced from their land and sent to the New World, mostly to the Americas and to Canada. So nice finds. Good start for Marty. Another one for Martin. Now initially I thought that was going to be a Jew's harp, which is a musical instrument, but it's got this hole drilled in that end which doesn't make sense. So I don't know if that's just it's maybe made of lead actually, so not sure. Maybe it's just a slither of lead, but if it is lead, I mean, it could be a stylus for writing on wax, and it's been bent a little drill bit on the end for putting through a bit of string to wear around your neck or such like. But it could be actually, that could be a stylus, and if it's a stylus then that could be very old. Could even be back to the medieval or the Roman period. Again, let us know in the comments below. I think I might have my first coin. It sounded far too good a signal. It sounded like it was going to be a bit of coke or a bit of aluminium, but I think it was just under the surface. Oh, it's not a coin. Is it a coin? Look how thin it is. If that's a coin, then it's a hammered coin. Really don't know about this one. It is copper or copper alloy. On this side you can't really see any detail, but look how thin it is. There's literally nothing to it. And on the other side, as it looked when it came out, it's like that. Now I can't bend it. If I tried to, I think it would snap in half. So I don't know if that's been a coin at some point, or if it's just a little circle of copper. Another one for Martin. This is made of lead. It's got a couple of clasps top and bottom that look like it would attach around something. And on the other side, we have got the word Dunlop Fort. Dunlop. So I'm wondering if that might be Dunlop as in the tyres. Mr. Dunlop started making the first pneumatic tyres, if I remember rightly. Quite close to, I'm sure his first factory was somewhere near Renfrew, near Glasgow. And started making pneumatic tyres in the late 1800s. So we'll need to look that one up online. But if you know, let us know in the comments below. Well, I just spied, sticking out of the surface, a little bit of clay pipe. So this is a smoking pipe. You can see the hole going through there for inhaling, and a little bit at the bottom here, that's the foot for resting it on. Looks like it would have been decorated. I can just make out a couple of lines of decoration. So this would have been the bowl here at this end, where you would put the tobacco and then puff away. So it's probably going to be Victorian. Could be slightly earlier though. First tobacco came into the UK in the 1600s, and back then the tobacco was really expensive, coming from the New World, America, or the Americas, particularly Virginia, and it was very expensive, so the smoking bowls were very, very small, and as tobacco got more plentiful, the bowls got bigger. So another eyes only find. Another interesting find from Marty. That looks like it's been a lead crucifix, a cross. What do you reckon? That's it's definitely been designed that way, made that way. It's got a plain back on it. But that to me says crucifix, especially with these raised dots. Looks like there's been a few on the arms as well. What do you reckon if it is? Looks like it's got a bit of age to it. It's quite crudely made. Could that be medieval? Let us know in the comments. Another wee find from Martin, a little fragment of what looks like a fragment of a buckle. And then he's got himself a wee button as well. Well, a big button actually. We have got a crown at the top there. Get the bendy thumb on it. And we've got a little monogram in the middle, a couple of initials. It definitely looks like an R, but beyond that I'm not really sure. I'm guessing that's going to be military. It's probably going to be First or Second World War, so 1914 to 18 or 1939 to 45. And another thing for Marty, he got this, which looks like a little wheel, and it's going to be one of two things. It's either going to be off a toy cart, or it might be off a cap badge. The Royal Artillery had a cannon with a sort of carriage wheel like this on it, and on some other badges which I've had in the past, you can actually spin the wheel, so possibly that might be off of a military cap badge. I think we've got a find right on the surface. See it there? That looks pretty circular to me. It looks lead as well. And it is lead. That is heavy. That is heavy. And that, I think, is a lead weight. So that's it, with a bit of a clean up. And this bit on the top, this is iron. So that's been a loop or a hook to suspend the weight from on a set of scales, what are called steel yards. So you would have that bar that goes across and you slide along to create a pendulum effect. So there would have been probably pans on each side, and there's a good chance that's got a bit of age to it. It's quite crudely made. Could be medieval, could even be Roman. We have had some Roman lead weights off the fields in the past. So that is nice, that is a nice find. Very good. I've just entered an area that's just littered with broken glass and pottery. All different colours and shapes and sizes. There's aquamarine, there's green, there's clear. There's different pieces of pottery like storage jars, teacups, saucers, plates. This bit here with the blue and white decoration. It's actually got like a sort of pagoda design on it. It's the sort of classic Chinese or Japanese blue and white. Most of it probably all from the 1900s into the late 1800s. And while going around trying to pick it all up, do you see what I see? I think we've got another pipe bowl, except this one is maybe intact. Has it got the... No, it's missing the mouthpiece. But I think it's actually whole. It is. It is whole, and it's decorated. That's beautiful. What is it, like a building? Possibly. Both sides are decorated. That's Masonic, isn't it? And that's the little foot that I was talking about on the other one that was for resting on a surface. Well, I'm pretty sure this is covered in Masonic symbolism, but not being a Mason, I've got no idea. I am sure that's a compass for, you know, measuring and for doing draft work. You've got a ruler there, which is at a right angle. Is that a set square? Is that what you call that? I'm sure these flowers have probably got something to do with it. You've got a star there with a sunburst design around it. I'm sure that's Masonic. You've got these little things down here. What are they? Are they like little stars or something? Then on the other side, you've got a temple. Were they not something to do with King Solomon's mines or something? And the all-seeing eye above. And you've got these pillars either side. So I am pretty certain that this is a Masonic clay pipe, or what's left of it. I've left the mud in it so it doesn't fall apart. And as I say, my guess is that this would be 1850s through to the early 1900s. It's amazing that that's survived in a ploughed field. But it's obviously just got lucky, unlike the other one that I got 10 minutes ago that's been broken. Always worth keeping your eyes out. Brilliant. Another ear-blowing signal right here. Could be a coin, but might be a great big lump of lead. Let's see what we get. I think we've got a coin, but I also think I've hit it with a spade. It wasn't where I thought it was, and there it is right there. And I have hit it with a spade, look. Scratched it. But that looks like a cartwheel penny. So another cartwheel, a little bit of lettering, like the last one. You can make out G-E-O-R for Georgios. You can just make out the 111 at the top for the George III. And the letters R-E-X for Rex. But there is no head. And the tail side, there's absolutely nothing. Nothing there apart from damage that I've just done to it. Damn, hate it when I hit a coin. Anyway, that'll date to 1797. George III, the madness of King George, and King George who lost the Americas. And that is, as I say, they were made, well, they were actually made, I think, for 2 or 3 years, but they all carry the date 1797. Very chunky coins, weren't particularly popular. You imagine having 10 of these in your pocket, your trousers would be falling down. I think I've got another good signal, and it does sound like a coin. Oh, it's got to be a coin. Maybe not a coin, it was deep, very deep. 4 spadefuls. Still sounds very good though. Let's get the new bungee cord. Bungee corded up. There it is right there. It's a silver coin. It's a silver coin. Don't believe it, I don't expect that. That is a silver coin. I think it's going to be a wee 6pence maybe. Or a 3pence. George V. George V. And here we go. Looking to the left. Georgius V. George V. De Gratia. Britain Rex FD Ind Imp. George V. By the grace of God, King of the Britons, Defender of the Faith, Emperor of India. And on the other side, you've got the crown, you've got 3 for 3p, and you've got 1916. So the year of the Russian Revolution, when the Russian Tsars, Tsar Nicholas and his wife and children were executed. Silver coin. Fantastic. Over the moon with that. That is where I got my silver coin, and where that deer footprint is. Maybe not quite as good, but maybe we've got a wee coin spill. Not as deep this time. Out on the first hole. Let's get the bungee cord on the go. In fact, there it is there. It's a coin. I'll get 2 coins and two coins in 60 seconds. Question, oop, dropped it. Shock horror. Question is it going to be George V? Well, we can just make out the letters THING, farthing. So it's a quarter of a penny, a farthing. There would have been a date at the bottom there, but it's completely corroded. And on this side, very difficult to make out. However, it does say Brit Regina, R-E-G, Regina, FD. So Regina means it's a woman. If it said Rex, it would be a man. And I think that means it's going to be Queen Victoria, because I can't think of any other queen. I suppose it could be Queen Elizabeth II, but yeah, it could be, but I'm not sure. So it's either going to be, I think it's going to be Victoria. But then again, it doesn't say Ind Imp, as in Emperor, oh sorry, Empress of India, which means India gained its independence in 1947. So it could actually be Queen Elizabeth II. An interesting one for Marty. Look at this. Now this is a little sailing ship, and that's copper alloy. Not sure, could it have been, we were wondering about back of a pocket watch, or even just some sort of decoration on a piece of furniture. But that is a type of sailing ship that became quite popular. If I remember rightly, it was in the 1800s. It was a clipper. The Cutty's Ark was probably the most famous one, and these were these really, really fast ships, and they were able to get from Scotland to America and back again in record time, and they made many people in Scotland very rich because they were able to bring tobacco and tea and such like much quicker and make more journeys in a year. So what do you reckon? But then at the same time, actually, it looks like there's two figures there, which means that it's quite a small ship. So what do you reckon? Let us know. Date-wise, I'd reckon it's probably going to be 18 into the 1900s. And Marty's got a wee lead seal as well. A little Russian one, surprise, surprise. 1839. So again, you'll have seen these in lots of videos. They just seem to come up constantly. This is a flax seal. Would have been attached to bales of flax that came over from Russia to be milled in Perthshire into linen. That's a nice find. On to the next. It was a bit of a weak signal, that one. And I was hoping when it came out and I could just see that much sticking out, I thought, oh, it's a Scottish hammered coin and it's a button. I've turned up a thingamabob, some sort of something, copper alloy, don't know, maybe part of a hook or a tag or some sort of furniture decoration, but I think Marty's just turned up the find of the day, and an eyes only find on the surface. Now, not something you see very often in Scotland.
It's Hong Kong on the side as well.
And it's made in Hong Kong, and it's a giraffe. So he's turned up a Hong Kong giraffe that unfortunately has lost its spots of all the weirdest things that you can find in a field. How about that? It's made of plastic, in case anyone's wondering. It's would have been nice if it was porcelain or something, but it is a giraffe. That has got to be find of the day, definitely. That is a beauty. Well done, Marty. I'm guessing 1970s, 1980s.
For next year, Lex.
Martin's on a roll. Not only is he taking a giraffe home with him, but he's got this little glass bottle that he just found quite close to the giraffe. Maybe the giraffe and the bottle came together, but it's intact. It's not cracked. There's no stopper. Is that maybe perfume or maybe medicine? But either way, it's probably going to be, I would think, 1850s through to the 1900s. Nice find. He can give that a wee clean up and, I don't know, put it with his giraffe. Another one basically on the surface, and another button. Again, it's got lettering around it, probably say the manufacturer or where it was made. But too many letters are gone. Well, about half an hour of finding nothing but junk. X marks the spot. Good strong signal. Could we have another coin? Fingers crossed. Do you see what I see? I think we have got a coin or a button. I think it's a coin. I think it is a coin. It is pretty corroded, but I can just make out the head of Britannia, and there is a date. There's a something, a 9, a something, and a something. But thankfully, he, and it is a he, is facing to the right hand side. If I can figure out what way is up. There we are. That way is up. There's his neck there. And we can just make out Edward V11, Edward the 7th. So this is Queen Victoria's son, who we found earlier. We found a farthing of her. And Edward the 7th ruled from about 1901 till about 1909, 1910. And his son, George the 5th, is the silver coin that I found. So we found 3 generations of monarchs in the same field. Victoria, Edward the 7th, and George the 5th. Brilliant. It's well worn, but it is a halfpenny, and it is a coin. The light is starting to fade and it's getting colder, but I've got myself a little, looks like a wee tap. It is. It's a little tap, I think. Right, let's give it a wee clean up and see. Oh, what do you reckon? It is a tap. That's the on-off. Now that's where it would have probably been threaded onto an outlet. But where did it come out? Because that is not open, or is it? Oh no, it is. That's the spout at that end. But we're in Scotland, and if this was a tap for beer, there'd be a riot. If this was a tap for whiskey, there would be a riot. And it looks far too small for irrigation purposes. So what is it off of? Because that is something that's obviously coming out in very small amounts. Who knows? Date-wise, I'm guessing it's probably going to be 1850s through to the maybe 1950s, not particularly old. I've just got myself a little domed button. Would have had an iron back, which is why it's got this corrosion on the side. But Marty has just turned up a silver coin. So let's go and have a wee looky at that. There you go. That is battered, but that definitely looks like Queen Victoria. Looks like a veiled head, which would probably put it sometime in the 1890s, 1900s. It almost looks like it's been in a fire. But it's heavy. It's unusual, isn't it? It's difficult to say, but definitely looks like her. Look into the left hand side, but it does look like it's been melted, because this would be pure silver. Anyone explain that one? Definitely looks like Victoria though, so that would put it sometime 1850 to 1900, something like that. Still, it's silver. Who's complaining? This one sounds reasonably good. Just a little bit irony. Well, let's see. And it is a great big hot rock, a big piece of charcoal that takes on a metal signal. And because of its size, it came through really good, or pretty good. I've had quite a lot off of this field, but they've all been relatively small pieces. Definitely plenty of this and plenty of aluminium. But you got to pick through it to find the good stuff. And another good find for Martin. This is another early Scottish hammered coin. Do you see how thin it is? Unfortunately, can't make out any detail, but because of the size of it, if you've watched the other videos, you will know that this is a turner, which is a 2p, a copper 2p piece. It would have had a thistle on one side, the flower of Scotland, and on the other side it would have said CR for Charles Rex, and around the edge it would have said Nemo me impune lacessit, which is the motto of Scotland, who dare meddle with me. So that's going to be Charles I or Charles II, so 1625 through to 1685. I'm going nice and slow, low and slow as they say, and I think that's something pretty small. Let's see what we get. Well, I'm only maybe 10 metres away from Martin. As predicted, it was a very faint signal. It looked like something quite small. Do you see what I see? Have I also got a turner? Right size, right colour, right thickness, and I don't see a loop. So I don't think that's a button. It is indeed another turner, another one of these Scottish 2p, made in copper, which is why it's got the green colour. can just make out a line around the edge with a little bit of lettering, but it is in even worse condition than Martin's. Quite thin, a little bit chunkier than his, but still the right sort of size. So again, it's a Turner, a Scottish copper 2p. Dates to 1625 to 1680, 1685, give or take. I'll work my way out in a spiral from where I found that coin, all the way out to where Martin had found his, but nothing else doing. Come forward another 10 or 15 metres. Not amazing, but let's give it a go. Well, it looks like we have got another Turner. Another Scottish copper 2p. It's bent. It's very thin. It's copper. It's the right size. And on that side, I'm pretty sure I can see the outline of a letter C. So I think that is a copper tuppence or 2p called a Turner. See the C there? I'm pretty sure that's a letter C. Charles Rex. Charles the First or second. So it's potentially the second one for me. Here's a curious little find that Martin just made. It's lead. It's got a little hole in the bottom. Focus. Struggling to focus. There we go. You can see it's got a little hole in the bottom that goes all the way through, and this bit here is hollow. So what was that? What was that for? It's almost like a smoking pipe bowl made of lead, just like smoking wasn't bad enough. Let's smoke it with lead at the same time. So what do you reckon that is? Can't say I've seen anything like that before. It's quite curious. Any ideas? Let us know in the comments. Not sure about this one. A little bit of lead. I don't know if it's a bit of lead pipe, but definitely has some letters stamped on the side. Or is that I thought that was an R at the end, but maybe it's an 8. Not sure what that could be. Well, don't go anywhere. It looks like we have got another coin, and it looks like it's another possible Turner. Wonder if we might get a little bit of detail off this one. I'm pretty certain that that is another Turner. You see how thin it is? It's copper. It's got the right size, the right shape, but with a light fading, if there is any detail there, I've just got no chance of being able to see it. It's almost pitch black. So again, it's going to be Charles I or Charles II, more than likely, which would put it sometime in the 1620s through to the 1680s. I'm definitely going to have to come back to this part of the field, because I am sure there's going to be more to be found. Is that something there? See that line going across? That could be a sword and sceptre. They kind of form a cross shape. I had one out of this field before when I brought a beginner out a few months ago, but you can see the line there. I think that's what that is. I think that's a sword and sceptre. Yep, definitely going to have to come back to this field. It's always right at the end when you lose the light that you seem to get the best finds. But at least I found it. Right, we'll definitely be returning. Is that a crown? It is. That's a crown. There. The bendy thumb. Get it to work. Pretty sure that's a crown. So, definitely going to be in the 1600s. Hopefully there's more to be had. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.